It's nothing like the feeling of a brand new iPhone. And you want to keep it that way, right? I mean, by the time you're done with it, hopefully it's in as good of condition as the day you got it. So in this video, we're going to talk about how to preserve your battery life so it never drains prematurely, keeping your data backed up so that you will never lose track of it, keeping your phone safe so that it can't get hacked or jacked, and also prevent the screen from getting cracked. I didn't intend on that third rhyme, but the sponsor of this video can really help us out with that third one, especially Casetify. They're gonna keep our iPhone safe. Let's start with the basics. You should already be doing these things, but in case you're not, you should really have a password on your phone. You can find it on settings by just going to Face ID and passcode. When you set up your phone, Apple really encouraged you to create a password. So if you didn't, it probably was intentional. Now go back and create one and then add Face ID or Touch ID, whatever you have. This basic security stuff is extremely helpful and can protect you in more ways than you even realize. Obviously, this will keep your phone safe because it's laying around. People can't just open it up and start going to your email and your messages, but also if it's stolen, it can be locked, and it adds extra features like you need a passcode to have things like Apple Pay or password autofill. There's all these extra features that are enabled by it. So just set a password or passcode, as many digits as you can remember, and then turn on Face ID because it makes it a lot quicker to open your phone. Now, the thing that I see people most upset about when I go into the Apple store is if they've lost their data, because sometimes it just cannot be recovered, so you want to make sure you're backing it up. The easiest way, the way that I do it, is using iCloud. Now, Apple does make you pay for this, but I find it to be worth it. We just have a bundle that includes 2 terabytes of storage, backs up all of the phones our family uses, and everything is saved, most importantly, photos. Then if you use features like optimize iPhone storage, you can keep most of your images in the cloud. They don't have to be local to your phone, and they're still safe. And they're backed up every time you connect to Wi-Fi. So whatever you've shot recently will be safe and secure across your devices and also accessible on your Mac. Now that's the most convenient option, but there is a more secure way to do it as well, and that is backing up to iTunes so that it can be encrypted. When it goes to iCloud, it is not encrypted. So if you're extremely concerned about your privacy, the best way to go is encrypted to iTunes. I'd also strongly recommend turning on Find My. So this has been really advanced lately. Apple's been pushing it really far, and it's very helpful if you lose your phone because you can just find it wherever it is. So even if your phone is stolen and now the phone is even turned off, you can still detect the location of it. It's the same technology it's working on Apple's AirTags. I've been using it more and more. And actually, here's another tip. If you lose your phone, I strongly recommend the Apple Watches. Like the #1 feature I have in Apple Watch is to do this. Here, let's hide it. If you have an Apple Watch, all you have to do is swipe up and press this button. And your iPhone will chime very loudly, and you can find it. I use this like 3 times a day. So that should help prevent any kind of digital damage. But what about physical damage to your phone? That's when a good case comes in. So Casetify has some of the strongest cases I've ever tested or used on a phone, especially their impact, and this one's the Ultra Impact case. And here, if you look at the corners, you can see why they call this the Ultra Impact case. It can handle a drop from about 6.6 feet. I mean, like a serious smash, and it will be completely fine. It gives you a lot more confidence when you're walking around with your phone, and anybody that does not use a case, I don't know, I think they're crazy. I was talking about this on Twitter the other day, and I had so many people responding that they don't have a case. I think they're just putting out a brave face, because there's no one I know in real life that hasn't broken a phone, but not the Ultra Impact Crush case. And the crush part, what does that mean? So it is made of 65% recycled, upcycled, and plant-based material. All these little specks you see around the outside, those are parts of an old upcycled case that's been reintegrated into the new one. This is part of their Casetify technology, where end-of-life cases find a new life in your new case. This is all part of their Drop to Zero commitment, where they want to conserve 20% of their carbon footprint. And they have a ton of designs. I mean, as you can see, they can be customized. This just didn't happen to say my name on it. But they also have just like infinite choices. Again, yeah, customized here, so you could have any repeating pattern you want. All of these are the Ultra Impact. I really like this new one though, this checkered. I think checked everything is in right now. And they also have them for every iPhone model and size, so you can get exactly the one that you're looking for. Not to mention, the Crush cases are 100% BPA free, 100% non-toxic and non-hazardous. They feature Defensify antimicrobial coating, killing 99% of bacteria and preventing the growth of microbes. And if you have an old case lying around, check out the Recasetify program so that you can recycle, upcycle that old case. And now, head over to casetify.com/TylerStallman. You're gonna get 15% off your order. Thanks, Casetify. I really appreciate it. These are great cases. There's a million of them. And by the way, if you haven't already seen what's on my iPhone, they also sponsored that video, so you can see some more cases there, and you can see all the apps that I actually use on my phone. The link is in the description. Let's keep going. So now the back of my phone is safe, but what about the front of it, the screen? Well, they got a solution for that too. I haven't put it on yet, but I'll do it with you right now. Start by cleaning all the grease off of our screen. And while we're at it, my #1 tip for better mobile photography is to keep your cameras clean, because grease on the lens ruins photos like nothing else. So we got scratch resistant, ultra thin, maximum HD clarity, and easy installation. I definitely don't skip out on the de-dusting step. It's basically just a sticker, but if there's any dust under your screen protector, you're gonna regret it. Also, do this in a well-lit area or you're gonna miss a bunch of dust and dirt that's left on the screen. And this step, do it pretty quickly before any dust has a chance to settle. And there it goes. I think I did it. No dust. And then you just gotta squeeze all the bubbles out to the edge of the screen. All right, there you go. Screen is protected. And I was about to show you the camera lens protector, but then I just noticed this is for the iPhone 13 mini, and I've got the Pro here. So make sure you order the right one, but this can go over top of your lenses and keep them totally protected so they don't get scratched in your pocket. And speaking of pocket scratches, this may seem specific, but I think it actually applies to a lot of people. If you wear jeans like I do, many people do, and you have rivets like these, do not ever put your screen face in to your right pocket. These seriously stick out and can very easily, instantly scratch your whole screen as it slides downwards. I'm scared even demonstrating. If you happen to use your right pocket, put it screen facing out, or better yet, if you wear jeans like this, put it in your left pocket. I usually do screen facing in on my left pocket, then the screen is protected, and there's no scratching that can be done. Let's talk about battery health. So first of all, the easiest way to check on that is go into settings. There's a battery section, and now Apple has added some reporting so you can keep track of your battery health and know exactly how it's doing. Right now I can see my maximum capacity is at 100%, meaning there's been no drain on this phone. You want to keep an eye on that, because over time every battery does degrade. You can't avoid it, and that number will eventually be less than 100. But to keep it as optimized as possible, there's a few things we can do. First of all, there's this little switch right here that says optimize battery charging. The main thing this does is when you charge your phone overnight, it will charge it as quickly as it can, up to 80%, and then just trickle charge the rest of it, because there's all these details that you really don't need to understand about how different methods of charging will burn through the battery more or less quickly. My biggest advice about this is just don't stress about your battery. It's probably going to be okay. You don't need to obsess over it. But the basics, the simplest rules to follow is charge overnight on a slower charger, like a 5 watt. And then in the daytime, fast charging is amazing. It drives me crazy that iPhones don't include chargers anymore, but that 20-watt charger, get a big one. And when you need a fast charge, it will go so much faster, like more than twice as fast. Everybody that only has 5 watts is missing out. A quick response to some comments in my iPhone 13 review. I was swimming in the ocean with my iPhone 13 and said that I wouldn't put it under the water. I stick by that, especially salt water. Now these are rated to get pretty wet, like they're very splash resistant. They can go underwater and be fine, but not salt water. And also, the older your phone gets, the less tight those water seals are. So gradually you're risking more and more every time that it gets submerged. So that's why I don't intentionally take them underwater, because there's always a strong risk that it won't come out okay. And finally, this is a big expensive one, Apple Care. Is it worth it? So I haven't turned it on with this phone yet, so I can still see it in the menu. I can go to Apple Care coverage available. You have some amount of days, I forget how many, after you buy your phone to add it. And I'm in Canada, the price is $250 for this one. I have found it to be worth it with some of my older phones because it's really cheap to get it fixed if you totally destroy it. No matter what happens, Apple has a pretty affordable way of replacing the whole thing. So is it worth it? I'm gonna say the same thing I always do when I'm asked that question. Don't ask a YouTuber, because it's up to you. I mean, it's up to your personal financial situation and your acceptance of risk. It has been worth it for me certain times in the past, but other times I haven't needed it. So that's the best I can do to help out. But I do have a lot more precise advice about iPhones, and there's a whole playlist about how to optimize yours and get the most out of it. So check it out. Thanks again to Casetify. Reminder, casetify.com/Tyler Stalman, and I'll see you guys in the next video.